Fundamentally, how are you?
I'm okay. I'm not gonna say that I'm great. I'm not gonna say...
Now, you know, I'm not one to spill the tea without a good reason, but sometimes the truth is too wild to keep to myself. Welcome to another episode where we're diving deep into the juicy side of Hollywood. Today, it's all about Basketball Wives star Brittish Williams. She's got the fame, the flashy life, and the designer bags. But she's also got a dark secret. A web of lies, fraud, and deception that's unraveling fast. The feds are on her tail and it doesn't look good. Let's get into it. Before we do, make sure to subscribe to Celeb Titbits and ring the bell so you never miss a hot story like this one. Let's go.
I love him. He is like, and you know, when I got with him, I was in college. I didn't have nothing when I got with him. I was working like 3 jobs.
Let's rewind for a minute, because Brittish Williams was not some random name in the reality TV world. Oh no. Sis made an entrance on Basketball Wives LA like she was born for the spotlight. Season 3, 2014, she came in with that fire, owning the camera, owning the drama, and owning every single inch of that designer wardrobe. But here's the thing, what we saw on TV wasn't the full picture. Behind the glam shots, behind the sleek hair and flawless selfies, there was a darker, deeper story waiting to unfold. And trust, it wasn't as polished as the image she was putting out.
It really didn't affect my self-esteem, but looking at myself on camera, I looked a lot bigger on camera than I did in regular.
Now, Brittish was no stranger to the high life. She was living what many could only dream of: private jets, lavish parties, sparkling diamonds, and all the glitz and glam that comes with being in the circle of the rich and famous. But the more we dug into her backstory, the clearer it became that this wasn't just about showing off on Instagram. Nah, sis wasn't just flexing for the gram.
That I am in this great space, but I'm working through it every day. I'm going to therapy.
She was trying to keep up with a lifestyle that, let's face it, she wasn't financially prepared for. She was playing the part of the rich, successful reality star to the max, purchasing everything she wanted to maintain the perfect image. But there's a problem with trying to keep up with that fast lane lifestyle. It's like trying to chase a speeding car while you're still walking. Eventually, you'll get left behind. And that's where things took a serious turn.
He went overly and beyond for me. He helped me with my company. He set and packed packages when I didn't have employees.
But hold tight, because this story is far from over. In fact, it's just getting started. We've only scratched the surface. Let's see how Brittish's descent into scandal unfolds next. Let's break it down. In 2018, Brittish started laying the groundwork for what would become a fraud scheme of epic proportions. This wasn't just petty theft, y'all. She went all in, opening 3 different bank accounts under fake business names. And you know how she did it? She was using other people's social security numbers like it was no big deal. And get this, she wasn't even trying to be creative with it.
But on camera, I looked bigger, even though I probably dropped like 15 pounds. It didn't really affect my self-esteem.
Every time she used a social security number, all she did was change the last digit. Now, if you're gonna commit fraud, at least make it hard to catch you. But this? This was like waving a flag saying, "Come and get me." March 13th, 2018. She opens a bank account with a name that looked legit, Brittish Sierra Williams, and then things get sketchy fast. She also opened another account with the name Sierra Williams and swapped out some numbers. It was like a game of, let's see how many fake identities I can juggle, and she was winning until she wasn't.
It's random things, and I never was a crier, so it's been scaring everybody. All 3 of my friends and I live 45 minutes away from.
By the time those checks started rolling in, Brittish thought she was untouchable. She was cashing them left and right, taking money that didn't belong to her. People's accounts were being drained, and Brittish was out here acting like she was living her best life, having no idea that the walls were closing in.
Or a warehouse, all the things that I have now. So as far as our loyalty goes for each other, he's very loyal, and I'm very loyal to him.
But like all good things that seem too good to be true, they always come to an end. And when those checks bounced, the banks realized that British had just pocketed over $23,000 in stolen funds. That's just the beginning, though. We can't forget about her businesses. Between 2016 and 2019, British was out here running multiple business ventures that seemed to be pulling in hundreds of thousands of dollars. But here's the kicker. When it came time to file her taxes, Sis wasn't reporting nearly as much income as she was making.
I'm a perfectionist, so when you look at me, when you see my makeup, when you see my hair, when you see my shoes, when you see everything about me, I want you to be like, oh, damn.
In 2016, she claimed she made only $15,000, and in 2017, barely $16,000. But trust, this girl wasn't struggling financially. She was out here living like a queen, playing the game, and keeping it under the radar until she got too greedy.
Honestly, like living her own life. Like it wasn't, and what's crazy is if you think about today, she lives with me.
All right, buckle up because things are about to get even crazier. Now, we all know the COVID-19 pandemic flipped the world upside down. People were losing jobs, businesses were shutting down, and the government was scrambling to help folks stay afloat. Enter pandemic relief programs like the Economic Injury Disaster Loans and Paycheck Protection Program. These programs were designed to give businesses and individuals financial support during one of the hardest times in modern history.
He's just a man, and he's just a hoe. Like, it's one of them things where, and I used to think that all men cheat.
From April 2020 to May 2021, British didn't stop at 1 or 2 attempts. Oh no. She went big, applying for a staggering 9 separate EIDL loans. British was out here fabricating businesses that either didn't exist or were barely functioning. And she claimed to be needing funds for operations that, let's be honest, were non-existent.
I was like, I can get in the gym now and I can work out and I can, just get everything real tight. And that's what I've really been working on.
So what did she rake in for all her hard work? A grand total of $144,400 in EIDL loan funds and $52,647 from the PPP loans. That's over $197,000 that British snatched, all while the rest of the world was just trying to survive a global pandemic. And you'd think with that kind of windfall, she'd put the money to good use. Maybe invest in something legitimate. Maybe help a business grow. Nah. British had other plans. When the government started asking questions about where those funds went, they quickly discovered the shocking truth. She was living large while others were struggling.
I was going to St. Louis University to be an anesthesiologist. What's crazy is I was having a conversation with my friend earlier and I was in the car with her leaving it.
Instead of funneling those relief funds into the businesses she claimed to be running, she used the money to feed her obsession with luxury living. We're talking about designer bags, expensive clothes, lavish trips, and an overall lifestyle that screamed, "I've got it all," but was built on lies. That's not a small-time hustle, folks. That's straight-up scamming at its finest.
I don't think that any longer. I think that there are some men that can get their life together at some point. So it's like, how long do you deal with that?
British was playing a dangerous game, but at the time, it seemed like the system was letting her get away with it. But like all things in life, the truth eventually comes out. And as much as she tried to cover her tracks, the government was coming for its money. When they dug deeper, they found exactly how she spent those relief funds. And guess what? It wasn't for business expenses or for helping anyone but herself. She was living the high life on taxpayer dollars. And that's just something you can't get away with forever.
And then you want to be like, you know what? I'm curvy. I have a big butt. It's natural. It's not something I went and got done. It ain't going anywhere.
But British wasn't done yet. You thought she was going to stop with just some loans? Oh, the story continues with even more shocking details, proving just how far she was willing to go to keep up appearances and fund her lavish lifestyle. But hold up, we ain't done yet. This woman's greed knows no bounds. While living in California for her show, British didn't stop there. She thought she could pull off yet another scam. In January 2022, British applied for California's COVID-19 rent relief program. But guess what? She wasn't even a real resident of California.
Airport coming to here, and I was like, I should have just been a doctor. I said this to her today. And she was a doctor. I was like, I was going to school to be an anesthesiologist.
She was only in Cali to film, but on her application, she said her annual household income was $50,000. Complete with a sob story about being financially impacted by the pandemic. The state of California didn't catch on, and they gave her $27,801.96 for rent relief. Yes, you heard that right. She got rent assistance for an apartment she didn't even pay for. She got paid twice for the same rent, all while living the high life.
Or, in my mind, if you're cheating, if you love me enough or you care about me enough, I just should know about it.
Hold up.
But wait, there's more. In a classic case of greed never stops, British teamed up with a co-conspirator to scam an insurance company. Between December 2020 and December 2021, they submitted fake medical bills from a car accident she was involved in. These bills weren't even real. They were from medical providers who confirmed that the charges were completely fraudulent. Still, the British played the system and got a hefty payout. In total, she pocketed $139,479.92. That's right. She was stacking bills off the backs of people trying to recover from an accident.
I have, my self-esteem is like on 1,000 all the time. That's probably the issue. But, I'm getting better.
And if you thought the British was done, think again. This woman took tax evasion to the next level. In June 2022, she filed a W-4 claiming to be exempt from paying taxes on the $90,000 salary she was making. Sis was making money hand over fist, but she didn't want to pay a dime in taxes.
And I would go watch him do epidurals, and I would sit inside of the surgery room when we had like that week where we were out of school to go do stuff.
This move might have saved her some coins in the short term, but it didn't help her long term when the feds came knocking. So, what's the fallout from all of this? British has pled guilty to a total of 15 charges, including fraud, tax evasion, and making false statements on government forms. While she originally faced 18 counts, a plea deal got her down to 15.
So you just as long don't ask, don't tell, as long as you don't find out.
That used to be my motto, but that's not.
As for her sentencing, it's still up in the air. Her offense level is set at level 20, which could mean anywhere between 33 and 87 months in federal prison. It's going to be a tough road ahead, and her once glamorous lifestyle is about to come crashing down. In the midst of all the drama, the British took to Instagram, trying to put a positive spin on things. She said, and I quote, "Anything I've gone through that a normal person would go through privately, I went through publicly. I hope my story, journey, and growth can help someone going through something similar or stop the next person from doing anything that could possibly have them in the same situation as me."
Did that affected you in any type of way with dealing with that? It was like more so like you're a size 0 and you look like a boy. So.
Well, British, maybe you should have thought about that before trying to outsmart the system. The reality is, she got too comfortable. She got caught up in trying to keep up with the lavish lifestyle, and now it's all falling apart.
When I first met Lorenzo, we met at White Castles in St. Louis at 2 o'clock in the morning. And I don't know if we were like first love, it was more.
So, here's the question for you, fam. Do you think British was just trying to keep up with the rich and famous, and it got way out of hand? Or do you think she was always looking for a quick way to cash in? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Let's talk about it. And remember, don't forget to subscribe to Celeb Titbits. Give us a thumbs up and turn on those notifications so you don't miss out on any of our latest gossip. We'll keep bringing you the hot tea, straight from the heart of Hollywood.